Can I get a Big Mac with a 20-piece chicken nugget, please?
Sir, this is FedEx.
Oh, y'all still got no food?
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Please.
Oh. Okay then.
Was that the freaking Flash? This is not Vibe SMP. Where even am I? That's the portal I came out from. This one's different. Well, anything to get me back to Vibe SMP. Wait, should I do it? What if it takes me back somewhere else? Ah, whatever. This place is crazy.
What is this? Reverse Flash did this? Might have to go inside to check it. What the? I guess not. That's crazy. Never seen one of these before. And with bedrock on it. Yeah, never mind. Too freaky.
Okay, this is not Vibe SMP.
Welcome, Liddy. You remember me?
No. Who are you? And why do you sound like that?
Oh, sorry. I thought you'd like it. I can change my voice to anything. Here, let me change it.
Okay, this is better. Sorry about that. Anyways, follow me.
Alright, you gotta tell me who you are and what we're doing here, because I'm supposed to be back in my SMP.
Oh, sorry about that. All will be explained to you soon. But what I can say is, my name is the one above all. We might have met before.
Wait. You're the one who wrote to me the book about the multiversal book.
Yes, I'm the one who made it and sent it to each one of you.
Each?
Yes, haven't you seen? This is the SMP Multiverse.
Wow. So, I'm actually here? All those times I talked about it with everyone. And I never thought it was real.
Oh, it's real, alright? Realer than you can ever imagine. These are all the SMPs of the entire multiverse. Every single one. Except for the ones that don't have cheats on. Because every single SMP that is here has cheats on. They're all connected in some way. The only way for your SMP to not be connected to the multiverse is to simply not have cheats on.
Wow. So just not having cheats on will simply not connect your SMP to the multiverse. That's interesting. Anyways, How many are there here?
There's exactly 1.3,046,543 SMPs. 23 of them being created as of right now.
Dang, that's a lot. And why is that one closed?
That one, story for you on that one. That is Prime SMP. First ever SMP ever created. It has a huge history unlike any other, and was actually changed into another name for the SMP. But to understand why, you have to hear the story first. It began when the president was giving a speech about an evil force that has been brought into the SMP, one that could destroy the entire world, and that he had found a weapon capable of destroying that evil, and that he was going to do everything in his power to keep the SMP, to keep the world safe. But then again, evil had its own plans. The president's bodyguard had been feeling a little bit odd all day, and heard a noise and decided to check in and what was happening. Everything had been destroyed. The president had died, but luckily, the bodyguard survived. He had found the weapon near the site, and decided to take it, not knowing of its power. But he knew that this weapon was the reason that the president died. Someone was trying to take it, and take it forcefully. The bodyguard had realized that this was not just a battle, but a war. And now, with nobody else in line, the bodyguard became the president of the SMP. And he vowed to destroy whatever evil killed the president.
Wait, but I thought that my universe was the first universe ever created.
Nope. In fact, your universe is SMP 435. Now, let me explain. Think of Prime SMP being a line of spaghetti, and that's the timeline. Something happened that when the line was created, something happened in between that timeline where it poked a hole through that spaghetti, and then more stuff came out through that spaghetti, causing more SMPs to be created. New ideas, new SMPs are created. Because of that hole, the timeline becomes fragmented, and then more holes are created. causing even more SMPs to be created. Now, my job is to keep that from not happening. So, as you can see, I'm not doing a very good job. But then again, it's too much SMPs to be brought in. So my job now is to just keep the multiverse secure and closed so that no other person from another SMP can go to another SMP. Or else that would cause fragmentation, leading to more holes in the timeline, then also destroying the timeline, which isn't very good.
So you're telling me we're just versions of one single one?
Yes, now, like I said, it's very complicated. So complicated that the human mind couldn't even understand it, nor comprehend it, or in your case, alien mind. Now, like I was explaining to you, when the bodyguard became president, he initiated war on the evil. The war became known as the Alpha War, the biggest and deadliest war of the entire SMP's history. It destroyed nations and devastated towns, cities. The entire SMP became in ruins. And it was no longer even considered an SMP because of how deserted it was. But evil still lived on, and instead took a new host. That host was you. You had revived the evil. The crystal had lived on. But now it was different. The crystal didn't have bedrock before. This was an even more powerful version. One that had known about the multiverse. The crystal had taken control of your body. You were no longer Liddy TTM. You were now Nightmare Liddy. The crystal had created a multiversal shard capable of traveling through other universes. As you can see, this is what caused the first fragmentation. As the whole grew, more SMPs came to light, therefore modifying and slowly deteriorating the entire timeline. The crystal's mission was to kill the president, and therefore taking the weapon back, which was used to kill it in the first place, so that then no entity could ever destroy the crystal again, therefore making it unstoppable. Now, Nightmare Liddy went and found the president, but the president had his own group of people stop Nightmare Liddy. They had found the crystal's weakness. The weakness was the warden blocks. Those were the things that blocked the crystal's power and manipulation, and managed to get Liddy back for just a second before the crystal took over again. But then, they had already found its weakness and used it against it. And then, they trapped him. Trapped him into a prison, where the former host was there as well, also still trapped with the weakness of the crystal. Now they had both hosts of the crystal in prison. Now, the universe was saved, but in unlikely fashion, the crystal had used the last bit of its power to let Liddy escape. And while Liddy was free, he escaped, but the former host wasn't. Liddy had promised to her, his former cousin, that he would come back and save the crystal once and for all. He went and tried to retrieve the multiversal shard because it was taken from him during the battle against the president. But when he went to retrieve the shard, he had realized that they had experimented with the multiversal shard and had turned it into a sword that was capable of traveling through universes and through SMPs. They had turned the most powerful tool into the most powerful weapon ever created in an SMP, and now was capable of traveling through other universes with just a simple tap. Now, he had found and taken the sword, but it came with a cost. When he went to leave the SMP and tried to use the sword of its power, he had traveled through many universes and ended up in yours, Divine SMP, or in technical terms, SMP 117. Now, your SMP was the only SMP without a shard, so it was the best SMP for Nightmare Liddy to be sent into, so that when he was stuck there, he was imprisoned and exiled. It was almost as if he had no power or no use. He only could have just walked around your world as his entertainment, but he was no longer connected with his universe. Now, if the host, or if the former host, were to be able to escape, it would be the only way possible for Nightmare Liddy to have even a chance of coming back to his own universe. But then again, they want multiversal domination. They've realized how vast the multiverse is, and the crystal wants to infect every single member of this entire multiverse. And with that has to come with the multiversal sword. But it can only be used once before it is destroyed, and only being able to use again would be using a multiversal shard. Now, your SMP had no multiversal shard because you used it to be able to open the actual portal. So now, with no multiversal shard in the SMP, you were stuck. So, thanks for helping with saving the multiverse.
Wait, but who was the former host?
Oh, trust me, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you. Now, I brought you here for another reason as well. Now, I have seen your universe. I have seen the SMPs you have been in. The ones you've created, the ones you've been in, they're all connected. And I can tell you for certain that I think it's time you rest. I think it's time that you let go of your old self, and you finally get what you've desired for the past months now, and that's peace. I believe that in this new world, this new SMP, it will be all for yourself, and with another entity I think you'll dearly like. Now I'm giving you this choice. You either go back another SMP that they will be creating very, very soon, and stay with them, and continue on with your life, with life full of battles, wars, and obstacles, with all that you're going to face in an SMP with a bunch of your friends. Or you leave that life behind, and you find a world where it's a place where you can finally rest and have peace. All the things you sorely desire, and what I feel you deserve. Now, it's your choice.
will they be fine without me?
Yes. Yes, they will.
For as long as I can remember, I've been in this never-ending battle with myself. Never figuring out who I really am supposed to be. And if this path to war and battle really is for me. And if they'll be alright without me, then it's best I rest.
I'm glad to hear that, Liddy. You'll now get the peace you've always been wanting. And if you just jump right over this, you'll land right into the portal into your new home.
Thank you, one above all, for showing me all this. Really do appreciate it. Really was one of my greatest adventures. And now I can finally be able to rest knowing that I traveled the multiverse.
No, Liddy. Thank you. Because of you, we have saved the multiverse. And from its evil. Now I believe you deserve this peace you've been wanting. And for compensating with saving the multiverse. And I believe your friends would agree with the decision you made. Hello, fellow sister of the crystal. I have great news. I have found the sword. And it seems to me that the crystal was right. The multiverse is real. Now, I've not been able to take over the president yet. So now I'll be going to another universe to escape with the sword. In 24 hours, the gates will open and you will be free. And then, your job is to kill the president and take that weapon. That weapon is the only thing that can defeat the crystal. You cannot let that happen. Destroy it. And then, I will figure out a way to come and get you. And then, our multiversal domination will commence.
Dang, this place looks fire. Like the house and... Is that? Bob? There's no way. It is you! Oh my... How you been, little man? Man, I haven't seen you since... Well... Since, yeah. Diamond. But, what is this place, man? You gotta show me around. We're gonna be staying here for a little while. Just glad that you're here with me. Alright, let's go check the place out. It's another day in paradise.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud, women walk, thinking around since I was born. Never tolerate, I don't hate, and you may look the other way, but we can try to understand. And do your time, nothing, no man. Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, you're staying alive, staying alive. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking, and we're staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive.
These past few days have been the best days of my life. Really has been the most peaceful as well. No wars, no fights, no arguments, just peace. Looking into the horizon with my lifelong friend, who I sadly lost in the first SMP I created. Well, not SMP, I created. Anyways, finally I have the peace I've always wanted. Finally leaving the whole battlefield, leaving what I had created once before. And I don't know, it's been only great. It has been great. Finally have the peace that I so desperately need, and I've gotten to the point where war is not a desire for me anymore. I really only desire peace. As I look into this new universe, I remember my friends. I remember the memories we made, and I will forever cherish them. It was an honor to be by their side, to be hanging out with them every single day in these SMPs we've created, not knowing about the connection we all have through this multiverse. And how this connection is what brings us all together. Of course, I would cherish those moments forever within my life, for the rest of my life, but it's time I look into a new version of me. I look back at my old self who just wanted wars, battles, fights, and I look to my new self who just wants peace, maturity, and gratitude. I realize now that the multiverse is so vast, so complicated that I can't comprehend it myself. And even with the help from the one above all, I still don't really understand much, but it is a lot. It is a lot. I just wish they could be here to see it too. But what really matters is how in all the universes combined, we are all connected. Different versions of me from other universes. Or different versions of my friends in other universes. I can tell now that this new version of me will be very beneficial for my health. And now I have this beautiful new SMP universe all to myself. And to Bob, my lifelong friend. And to a message to my friends, if you can hear this. I thank you for everything. I know we've had our good moments, we've had our bad moments. But what matters is the funny memories, the great memories, and the memories I will always cherish forever being with me. This is a part of my life that I will never forget, and I will always cherish it. And I hope that you guys as well can cherish those moments and bring in new memories, memories that you know you won't need me there with you. But anyways, as a final message, no matter what, in any given circumstance, I will always be the one and only Liddy TTM.
Parked up outside in the old school. The new me back with the OU. The dog always runs his